part of understanding that I'm trying to bring to your knowledge today is that every knowledge you have acquired in school, or probably during the course of your internship somewhere, this does not have to go in line with school, formal education, whatever. You are a tailor. It is all that at a point in time you have to understand what they have taught you anywhere you have gone to is just the basic principle. They didn't teach you the full knowledge of it, even because the person that taught you did not have the full conception of the topic or the subject in question. What the person that has taught you understands is what he taught you, which could, in most cases, they are usually the basic principle of things. So if you are a tailor, me, I'm not a tailor, I don't really know major things about fashion designer, but I know some basic things. One, measurements. So, but one in line with fashion designing or engineering, that you are using tape on site or something, you won't even understand how to measure all those things. You won't understand how to do all those calculations with the tape. So if you are a fashion designer, a tailor, or this or that, they will first teach you how you are going to use your measurement. They will teach you how to cut. In fact, they might tell you to sew agbada, sew dasiki, sew this one, sew that one. You may be there without your pulse. I'm talking about fashion designing, for instance. 6 years, and you will be doing different jobs. Even if you do up to 1 million fashion designs on clothes, it doesn't mean that all the fashion design in this world are the things you have done. Somebody else will do something somewhere that is different from out of that 1 million or whatever amount I've just called, showing that there is creativity every time, but everything boils down to what? To the basic principle. And that is what you've been taught in school. That is what you've been taught anywhere you've got your training, your internship or whatever. It is now that's limited scope. So when it comes to engineering requires a lot of principles. If you are dealing with civil engineering, for instance, it's not that it is limited though, but at least we can still confine it within a scope, whether it is large or small. But when it comes to engineering as a whole, then you'll be talking about metallurgical, material and metallurgical. You talk about biomedical engineering, aeronautical engineering, mechanical, and so on and so on. The scope is large. So the principles in such regard are also very large. Everything still boils down to basic principles. When you now conceive, you have the conception of the basic principle as you have been taught in school. Probably you use other materials or whatever. You shall have acquired the knowledge. It is not in the understanding of those principles, and you are faced with challenges in life, different challenges. Now you begin to look at how these principles in school now solve this one. At that point, when you find a match between what you have learned in school and the problem, and you can now see that there is an approach that you are going to solve the problem in real time with those knowledge, that is when we say you have come to understand. When it comes to wisdom, according to Bible, is a principal thing. The anybody also in all your getting, get understanding. Getting here is talking about information, acquisition of knowledge. So wisdom in all of it is the principal, is their senior. Àwọn yòókù jẹ́ bí class teacher àti student ọwọ́ ìpàláyé tí wọ́n ṣó yẹ. So knowledge is a subset of wisdom. You cannot be wise except you have the knowledge. Tó bá tẹ̀ máa check King Solomon gan nínú àwọn Bible yẹn gbà yẹn, wọ́n ní ó wà exceedingly wise, and even tó bá fẹ́ check ẹ̀ náà. The prayer Solomon asked for was wípé kọ́lọ́n fún un ní wisdom. Why do you believe? He wouldn't have asked for money. You know why? Because he is from a kingdom. In their kingdom, there is no lack of money. His father was very rich, and his father was the king of the kingdom. They have excess gold. There's no need for him to ask for money. He asked for what he did not have: wisdom. And wisdom exceeds every other thing. So wisdom is the ability to apply the knowledge you have based on your understanding. Nǹkan tí wọ́n pè ní wisdom nìyẹn. So tó bá parí school ní University of KB, University of this, University of that, ó wá ríṣẹ́, kì í ṣe fault ẹni tó kọ́ ẹ́ school. It is not the educational system that they design for you tó wà faulty o, tó jẹ́ pé ó wà scam o. Wisdom is a principal thing. Wisdom is an application. Tó o bá ní knowledge, you cannot have wisdom. That is, tó o bá lọ sí school kó o lọ kàwé, o ò ní ọgbọ́n. Àwọn tí ò lọ sí school kó wọ́n lọ kàwé tí wọ́n ní ọgbọ́n in another thing. Tó o bá lọ verify ọgbọ́n tí wọ́n ní, one way or the other, wọ́n ti gba information. Information is knowledge, knowledge is power. Information is power, knowledge is power. It shows that information and power, they are the same thing. Ṣé kò yẹ? When you now have the ability, having understood the concept, how it merges between life and death, between the school side and the real time. Nǹkan tí wọ́n kọ́ ẹnu school, problem tó ní lọ́wọ́, wá wò pé okay, so nǹkan tí professor kìíní sọ lílé, doctor, ó ti yẹ, ìgbà yẹn mo lo ní understanding. Now moving on, how to apply it. The application in itself is wisdom. O lè ní understanding, kò ní knowledge, kò má ní wisdom láti apply it, and eventually when you come out of it will still be a mess because you are not wise enough. It is all about decision. The decision, that is the wisdom there. The decision. What am I doing with this? You can have the understanding that this thing is dangerous. Then you say, I choose to stay inside the danger. I choose to step aside of the danger. It is a decision. It's an application. Even despite the fact that you have understood the concept. Ṣé kò yé ni? Mo fẹ́ kó yé wípé tó bá ń tanra ẹ jẹ wípé education is a scam in Nigeria. You are just yourself. Because it's the reality. Don't go on messing with yourself. Education is never a scam. Tó bá lọ sí school, tó ń lọ jiyàn wò nínú school, òun jí Fẹ́mi wò, Fẹ́mi tó mọṣẹ́, òun kà, òun yé, ìwọ ń lọ dàkọ ní exam. Probably torí ẹ tó smart, ìwọ tó gbọ́n gan, ó lọ gbé ẹni tó jí wò gbé B. That is your celebration of that moment. You will be happy, of course. But tó bá dénú ilé ayé níbi tí challenge ti wà, níbi tá ti máa expect pé àbọ̀bọ̀ ẹ lọ sí school, ó ti kàwé o, in this regard o, you will be able to solve this problem. Ìgbà yẹn la máa ṣe wá test ẹ bóyá o ti ẹ̀ lọ school, bó ti ẹ̀ yé àbí òye. Ojú ara ẹ wà bàjẹ́, wà bójú ara ẹ àtọ́jú àwọn ọmọ mi ẹ jẹ́. Wàá gba ojú ẹni tó recommend ẹ. That person that recommends you, ó lè má jẹ́ mọ́mí àbí dáàdì ẹ àbí uncle ẹ, ó lè jẹ́ ní how person come from your church or your mosque or somewhere. Òun kàn rí ẹgbẹ́ àbọ̀bọ̀ ẹ̀, ìyá lè ń jẹ́ wáyé tí yóò ṣe ń jẹ́ òde pẹ́rẹ́ ní medical, well, are you serious? Ọ̀yá, bá mi pe Fẹ́mi, Fẹ́mi báwo, ṣó wà pẹ̀lẹ́, ọ̀yá, bá mi ọmọ kan, wọ́n ti fún ẹ ní recommendation, orí dẹ̀ lélẹ̀ ó dọ́ta ju fún ọ̀dọ́ lọ, orí ti kàwé yẹn náà ṣe bó jíyàn wò. You will not be able to understand the problem in itself, not to talk of having got to the point of deciding on whether it is going to be like this or this, because orí rẹ ò sí nítòsí. Màá parí yẹn síbẹ̀. Evidence of knowledge obtained, òun ni wọ́n ń pè ní certificate. Ìyẹn lẹ̀ ń lọ rí. Èmi Oxford Dictionary kan ló define ẹ̀, mo define ẹ̀ fún ẹni because mo mọ̀ pé kò ń yẹ easily. So if you have certificate, you have BSc, you have MSc, you have PhD, you have bọ̀ọ̀bọ̀ tó kó àwọn certificate yẹn tó dàbí encyclopedia báyìí. The moment you cannot apply any of those theories or the principles tó fi solve problem, ẹni tí ò lọ school better. They are employing my boys in Australia, Sweden. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ń ṣiṣẹ́ pa ọmọ mi náà ẹ̀ fàṣẹ lọ. You think white people are stupid? You think they are that? The same education system to produce àwọn yẹn, ó produce ìwọ mediocre. You don't know that something is wrong with you. Wá kàn máa fi wéra wọn. And ìwọ lélẹ̀, you are a subject of what the society says. You are not the subject of your own thoughts. Má ṣe báyẹn mọ́ o. Má ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́. Ṣó yẹ Mindshift lélẹ̀, this is what we do here. So Mindshift will shift your mind to be able to get your things right. Ṣó ti yẹ. Up until next time now, peace and love.